For the past 10 years, I've lived on the edge of Kings Park, a great luxury. Every day I marvel at the foresight of our founding fathers and the vigilance of those West Australians who have protected these city lungs from intrusion over the years. In 1962, we had the Commonwealth Games in Perth, and many people thought that because we had all this empty land up in Kings Park, perhaps we could build a swimming pool there for the Commonwealth Games and a car park and a this and a that. And there was a huge public outcry. It has become a very sacred site for West Australians. We're actually quite proud in WA that a former director of Kings Park, Stephen Hopper, is now the director of Kew Gardens. These two organisations have long been engaged in cooperative relationships, and it's fitting that one of our Kings Park directors should end up making a transition to Kew. And great things are happening in Kings Park. There's much activity in the Botanic Garden area, but thanks to Rio Tinto, a wonderful new area, an interactive environment discovery project is being built. It's called Naturescape, and it will ensure that children in the 21st century Perth will have the opportunity to have similar experiences to the ones that I had with my brother in the hills as a child. The vision for the new project is to inspire positive environmental action through discovery, learning and connection with nature. There are 6.5 hectares to the Rio Tinto Naturescape, and it's based on the premise that urban children in particular need to experience more nature-based play, and that such exposure to nature is an important contributing factor towards developing an eco-conscious generation. I don't see how we can expect children to value nature and national parks if they've never had experience of them or in them. And the aim, therefore, of Naturescape is to nurture greater environmental awareness and understanding and mobilise individual and community inclination to respect, to value, to protect and conserve the natural world. The Rio Tinto Naturescape in Kings Park is expected to be open to the public by mid-2011, and there are lots of issues to be worked through, as you imagine. Everybody has made the world so safe for children that people are terrified of children being involved in the slightest risky situation. The sorts of situations my brother and I and our friends got ourselves into would have our parents in jail these days. But we're working very hard to find a balance between safe play and play where there is maybe a little bit of risk, but it's only going to end up with maybe a stubbed toe rather than a broken leg. Now, another generation of Holmes Accords are enjoying getting to know the joys of trees and national parks. My eldest son lives on a farm in New South Wales with his 4 children, and I was delighted recently when I was walking with them to discover that they have donkey orchards there as well. My daughter and her family live in England but spend a lot of time in the mountains of France climbing rocks and walking and being thoroughly immersed in nature. My second son has a property here in Daylesford where he and his children have enjoyed planting masses of Indigenous trees, and he's involved in the construction of a community-owned wind farm. My youngest son and his 4 children spend their weekends at Heytesbury Stud, and I get a great kick out of hearing 5-year-olds being taught to say Eucalyptus citriodora rather than lemon-scented gums. And of course, I've had already many adventures in Kings Park with my West Australian-based grandchildren. This little tot at the end is standing next to a Eucalyptus marginata variety elegentalis, which was named by Stephen Hopper. It's a rare mutant or just a variety of West Australia's favourite jarrah tree, but it's found in a very small area around Heytesbury Stud, and the people at Kings Park grew it for us in their nursery from some seeds which I collected from a tree on our verge. So as I promised you, this has been a very personal journey, but as I also promised, I make no apologies for that. I'm absolutely convinced that the early exposure to national parks and the natural environment which my mother and I and my children had, and that my grandchildren are now having, will ensure protection of our parks and our environment well into the future. Thank you very much.